the proof, the method of manufacture by the U.S. Mint where they make a special coin for collectors, intended as a collectible piece, not a coin in circulation. Well, they've been doing this going back to the early days of the U.S. Mint. But for the American public to get in on it, well, that started in 1950, 75 years ago. But during this time frame, 2 years, 2 special years, actually in the last decade, added coins that no other sets had, making the proof set the pivotal set for the year. Well, tonight, the good news is, finally, we have both back in stock. So the U.S. Mint in the year 1996, I'm going to start back here because it's the reason why this exists in 2019. The U.S. Mint was trying to get more collectors to join with their uncirculated sets. So what did they do? Many of you might remember. For the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime in 1996, they made a special West Point W uncirculated dime, only available in the uncirculated set. And they increased the number of people buying the set that year significantly. And then it continued for a number of years thereafter as a regular set, and people kept on buying. So year over year over year, the last decade, proof set sales have been going a little bit weaker. That's just a normal trend. There's so many other choices available today, right? And the pocketbook has only so many holes in it for us to utilize for our collectible coins. So in 2019, we bring out this new concept. The cent. Again, now it's over, right? 2025 tells us that. But in 2019, we take the cent, and every special set will have a special cent. The first one out has to be the proof because it's the best we got. So the U.S. Mint makes a West Point Lincoln cent in proof for the first time and only time ever. And you saw that on the top, that polypack bag with the envelope that goes in the proof set. Success. Big time. So in 2020, we bring it back. But here is the small push on 2020. 2020, we didn't do it for everything because the Mint was having struggles like everybody in this country was by the middle of 2020. We didn't like that word that started with a C and ended with a D, right? We didn't like the word, and it shut down a lot of things, businesses, restaurants. People were staying at home. People weren't going to school. You know, COVID was a time frame that many of us want to forget for any number of reasons. And the U.S. Mint had to stop production, right? So the first set out in 2020 was the proof set. But they didn't make that money, and it sold out quickly, and they did not go back to making more. But because they were following the plan of 2019, the next coin up will be what? The nickel. We're going to make a West Point nickel. And we're going to put the West Point proof nickel for the first time ever in the uncirculated set the proof set that year, like you're seeing here. But that one, because of the year itself and the low mintages tied to the set itself, make that W nickel, no different than the W cent, by the way, the lowest minted proof ever in the series. It's just outright special. And it's still the only W on either side. Now, how many of you bought the proof set and didn't get this little extra? Unfortunately, I want to say every other set we look at, this is missing. It's the key to the set. The proof cent, the proof nickel, and here, again, I understand the point of the U.S. Mint getting them out there for us as collectors, but they protect all of the other coins in this beautiful hard plastic, right? And they put the most valuable coin in a poly pack in an envelope, which, by the way, didn't work in the 1960s, which is why they changed the packaging back then, and in 1968 went to the hard plastic lens we see today. That felt so good to get off my chest. It's like, how can you do this? Take the best coin in the set and just, But they did, and that's what we have. So here's my competition, by the way, right? The clad Kennedy half dollar from 2020, because of the low mintage, they want $89.95. The dimes, $25. The quarters are $70. We haven't even talked about the nickel, which is north of 100. Then you go back to 2019, the coin we're looking at right here. That set. The Kennedys at $50, the Sacks at $25. I forgot the Sack on the 2020, right? You add it all up and you're looking at 140, 150, and then the cent, the W. It's just special. These are outright special. Don't forget the bat, right? Remember the baby bat? That was in the news for a week when Guam came out with their coin, and the design in the National Parks program was the baby bat, upside down. How cute, right? And yes, I said the word cute on TV in a coin show. So tonight, the foolproof set, all 10, with the 11th kicker. The 11th kicker is the the W cent in 2019, and then W nickel in 2020. I wish things would have been different in 2021. They could have continued into the W dime and all the rest of the stuff, but that series was canceled. But they did in 2021 bring out other fun coins. A big year of change for the U.S. collector. Guys, give me a 1 minute clock. Original government packaging. This is exactly it. 2 lenses, the big cert, then the small envelope with the poly pack in it. That is how they were issued. So that poly pack and that little envelope is part of the set. It wasn't an add-on. It was the part of the set. It was the significant part of the set. The only time for both of these denominations where West Point made a proof, an outright proof, and it was tied to the proof set. So to get that coin, you had to buy the proof set. And because many of us are collectors of a series, like the Lincoln cent, we bought the set, broke it to get that coin to put into our set, right? Which means as time progresses, passes along, in the original government packaging is even more special than it ever was. My competitions at $139 and $199 on these 2 sets were, well, $50, $60 less each, and they're the real McCoys. So in our 75-year history, as I walked into this conversation saying, there are 2 significant sets. You're looking at them while they last.